Okay, I done a video yesterday about my charging system here on the truck. I got my meter here, and I'm going to show you all what it does. Problem is, I don't have clamps. I just got these, so I don't know if it's going to fall out or what. But I'm going to test the voltage on the alternator from the battery. So let's see what it says. It should be 12 full charge, 12.8, 12.9. That's what it should be. But I've driven the truck maybe 80 to 90 miles since I installed the battery. So it's probably going to show a little discharge. Okay. 12.6. Now when a battery is completely drained, when it's dead, should I say, it'll probably be 11.4, 11.5, something like that. So we still have juice. So I'm going to try and start the truck. Now that thing may fall out, I don't know, but I'm going to start the truck and hopefully it won't fall out. Hold on. But I'll show you what this does. Now there's probably going to be some road noise because they're putting in a new roundabout down the road down here, because I guess they think that people in the county got enough sense to stop. Alright, I started the truck. I'm going to just let it do its thing here a minute. So it's showing it's okay, which it always does, till the battery goes almost completely dead. And then it'll go down somewhere. It'll go down to here. But this battery light, you see, will come on. There it is. Alright. Now, you've seen what the battery was. 12.5, 12.6. I hope it didn't fall out, because I'm going to try to show you what it's doing when it's running. Alright, it's still there, so. Okay. Now, it's showing with nothing on. It's showing, I don't know if you can see that, 14.6.16. Okay? 14.16. Alright, now let's turn some stuff on. Let me get this is actually my charging system right here. So I'm just gonna lay this in the truck. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna turn the heater on, I'm gonna turn headlights on. I want you to watch this gauge right here when I do that. Here goes the heater. It's wide open. Here's the headlights, windshield wipers, headlights on bright. Now, you see anything move? Nothing moved. Blower motor didn't slow down. Now, let's see what we got. Headlights are on. It's showing 14.1. Okay. I don't know whether you can hear that or not. You can just hear it kick. 14.12. Okay. shut everything down so you see. Turn everything off. Gauge still right there where it always stays until it goes completely dead, and then it'll show it's dead. Alright. Now, we might be able to watch the voltage drop because it's not asking for anything else. So let's see what it does. It may take a little bit. Yeah, it's already dropped to 13. And you can see it going down. Okay? I know there's a little glare on there. I'm trying to turn it where you can see it better. There it is. Now you can see the voltage going down. Now the reason why the voltage is going down is because it's not asking for any more. Okay? And the reason why it jumped up to 14 volts when we first started is if I could have held this on this meter, you'd have seen it dropped way down while it was starting. And then as soon as it started, it asked for that voltage back that it lost while it's starting. So I'm going to do this again. Alright, you can still see it dropping. 1310. It may hold there a while because there it goes. But what it'll do, it'll just, I guess, like go to sleep mode or whatever. This thing sleeps a lot. It is a sleeper. That's the reason why these trucks, you can drive them 300,000 or 400,000 miles, because they don't have enough power to get out of their own way. So there's a guy I work with. He's a friend of mine, and actually he got a speeding ticket in one of these trucks, and we was all really proud of him. You know, you can't get mad at somebody who gets a speeding ticket in one of these trucks. I mean, you just can't. But yeah, we was all proud of him. I seen a real cool video. I think it was last night or night before last. Anyway, I was watching this really cool video, and these guys took a '69 Camaro and they put a 440 in it, or I'm sorry, 360 in it, Mopar 360, and it was these, you know, Chevy guys were stroking out, and you know, it's terrible. But what this thing needs is but it'd be a waste of a motor. But what this thing needs is a good 440 in it. Like I say, it'd be a waste of a motor to put a 440 in this truck, but it would really be cool, and it would definitely help it. Definitely help it. But yeah, so you know, all you NASCAR guys, you know, I know you're not gonna like this, especially if you're a Ford fan or whatever. But the thing about it is, NASCAR has one engine, and that engine is in a series of NASCAR. The engine is a LS2 motor, and it's a 360. I think it's a 364 or 368 cubic inch. But they're all Chevy. No matter what kind of body they're supposed to run on, they're all Chevy motors. So I hate to break the news to you, but that's the way it is. All right, here. All right, now you see it's dropped to 12.95. Now, it really shouldn't go no lower than 12.5. I wouldn't think anyway, because if you lose a bolt and a half, your battery's going to be dead. So that'll put it down in the mid 11s. Oh yeah, with 440 in this, it might run mid 11. But anyway, that would put the voltage like 11.4, 11.5. Then you're not going anywhere. Nothing's going to work. You're just not going to work. So again, when this thing demands power, what we got? 12.9. All right. Now, when I first come out here this morning and put this thing on here, it was 12.4, and it gradually started going up. I'm sure it probably didn't have a exact good, connection that it needed, because we're just doing this with this. See? But as you can see, it will show, and it's already dropped 12.8 already. And the longer it sits here, the more it'll go down. Till it gets to wherever the battery is. Like I say, I put this battery in here a couple weeks ago, and I know I haven't driven it 100 miles, I know. Used air conditioner once when it got warm the other day, and that's about it. But if I drive it very far, it'll just, even though it'll show that it's asking and getting 14 volts, more or less, plus or minus, it will still run the battery down. And if I had somebody to help me, I could hold this on here like this and have them speed the engine up, and you can watch the voltage drop. Just sitting here running, and even though it might show that it's getting 14 volts, and as this truck is running, when it's running, and you speed the engine up, it pulls voltage out. And you can put this on there. It don't have to be necessarily be on the alternator, but it will show us. You can put it on the battery, and it will show voltage going down as it's running. Now I don't have anything to hold my camera right now, but if I had a way to clamp him on there, I could get in there and maybe have somebody hold a battery or something, the camera. I could get in there and start the truck and let it run and rev the engine up, and as the RPMs on the engine comes up, the voltage goes down. Now, as you're driving, or if you're sitting still even, if you're just sitting still and bring the RPMs up on the engine, and then you demand more power as you turn the headlights on, or like say if I turn the air conditioner on, then the engine is not only taking voltage out, but then whatever else you're using is taking voltage out. That's why you can't get too far away from wherever you need to be, or you can't drive it at nighttime. Or if it's on a real rainy day and you have to use your windshield wipers a lot, then you better just go park. Now, let me explain. When this first started doing this, first thing I did was change the battery, because I thought it was the battery. Alright, I had that battery checked, the battery checked good. Now, even though that you can put these on here, and it might say that the battery is good, doesn't necessarily mean the battery's good. It might mean it's got 12 volts or whatever in it, but that doesn't necessarily mean the battery's good. I think each one of these cells, once the battery starts going down, it takes like 25% out each cell, whatever, until it goes dead. But anyway, if you get one that's shorted out or whatever it might do inside here, it may not always show on that gauge, on that voltmeter. It might show you're fully charged, but it won't show there's a bad cell in here. Now, if there is a bad cell, as someone told me, it's telling their computer there's something wrong, so don't send more or whatever. I mean, that makes sense. But now I said I put 3 alternators on it, and I put 3 batteries in it. Well, the battery was already in it, the alternator already on it. Now, I don't know if it was the original alternator or not. Somebody told me that you had to take the original alternator, go back to the Ford dealership, and all that goofiness. Well, look, they just don't make one alternator for one vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I went, when it done it, again, after put the new battery in it, I went and got a used alternator stuck on it just to see if that might be the alternator, because at that time I didn't have one of these, and I just assumed that the alternator had gone bad. So I took it out, put it in a box, and went and got me a used alternator. Well, come back, put it on, it done the same thing. So I took the used alternator back, and I told them I don't think this alternator's good. Well, supposedly they checked it, blah, blah, blah. All right, so then I went to the parts store. I come back home, put the alternator back on the truck, checked it again, still same thing, the one that was on it originally. I don't know if it was original, but it was originally on it when I got it, let's put it that way. So then I went and got a new alternator, okay? Come back, stuck it on, same thing. So I took it off, went back, and I said, are you sure this alternator's good? And they said, well, it should be. Didn't say yes, no, maybe, could be. Well, it should be. So they took that alternator back and gave me another one. All right, 1, 2, 3. Used one, 2 new ones. Okay, one that was on it. One that was on it. Okay, 2 new ones and a used one. So actually that makes 4. Okay. So put that on there, and still it was doing the same thing. So they told me at Napa to go to Advanced Auto and have them check the alternator. Okay, Napa. All right, so I went to Advanced Auto, had them put a meter on it, and they checked the meter, and they said it was all good. They said the battery was good. Look here, now we're down to 12.7. Okay, what was it we started with originally? 12.5. All right. So they checked the alternator. They said the alternator was good. They said the battery was good. All right. So done all that, and then you might wonder, well, I made one yesterday about putting this on here. Now, I know it's going to freak people out. The end of the world is going to come. The aliens is going to come back. They're going to capture Sasquatch, and we're going to miss out because the aliens is going to get him first because I put this wire on. And people's going to say, well, you put that on and you stopped all that from going on. Now you're going to burn up something else. Well, you know, if it helped it. So, you know, if it's going to do any more, maybe it'll help me find really what's wrong with it. But by doing this right here, Donnie, I appreciate you telling me about this, by the way. But by doing this right here, I eliminated one thing. What I did was go straight from the battery to the alternator. Juice running straight to. There's no roundabout, let's go here, go there, go somewhere else. Let's see what this is going to do from here to here. With everything doing what it's supposed to do, it only put out 13.5, 13.6 volts. That's as high as I could get it until we put this on. When we eliminated this, which has some problems inside here, I guess. It showed it was all good, but evidently it must not be good. So again, that showed it everything was fine. Well, I talked to another guy, and he said you actually had to put it on a machine to find out whether or not is really something wrong in here. So by doing this, it helped me get that 14.1 volts. All right. So here we are again. Now they say there's 2 different kinds of alternators for these 4 trucks. One's for a V8, one's for a V6. Now I depended on Mr. Napa, which told me to go somewhere else to have a check, to make sure that was the right alternator, and which they said it was. So there we are again. And I had Chevy guys say, if you take it off of there and put on a Chevy one because it's nah, it ain't gonna help. Only thing that helped this truck's a good stout 440. But anyway, Now we're already down to 12.6. Okay, and it's going to keep going down until it goes in this little sleep mode or whatever. And it's definitely a sleeper. This truck's definitely a sleeper. So anyway, I was telling you about that cool video I seen about that 69 Camaro with the 360 Mopar engine in it. It was just so cool. And for all you Ford guys that, you know, like Street Outlaws and little Chucky's little Mustang, I just have you know that was a Chevrolet engine in the Mustang. And for all you guys who like the Dodge Dart, that was a big block Chevrolet motor in that Dodge Dart. So, not that that has anything to do with this, but here we are trying to figure out what's wrong with this thing. But as you've seen, when it called for the juice, when it called for more operating power. Now there's two wires. One's called a GenCom, and I can't think of what the other's called. Gen something. It comes from here to here. Now I'm sure I'm going to have these people say, well, now you put this on there and you eliminated that and you done this and you're going to cause that. Well, it's been on here 3-4 months and it ain't done no different other than help it get voltage. Okay, which that's what I need, is voltage. Ford being a typical Ford, pulley, I already replaced that because that bearing went out, caught me down the road and went out. So I guess after 200,000 miles it deserves it. So now also I was told by an older gentleman who'd been in the business for a long time, who also told me he didn't have any idea what was wrong with it, said if I was to take the ground cables to the wiring harnesses, there's a ground cable there, of course that's for the engine block, I assume. This probably goes to the engine block back in the back somewhere. There's another one, another ground right over here. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. It goes to this. This right there's another one, I'm sorry. And then there's one right there. He told me that he was used to working on these, and he said he done a lot of F-150s and so on and so forth, and Econolines and what have you. And he said there's about 15 grounds on these trucks, so could be anything, anywhere if it was a ground. Just don't believe it's a ground. That could be. So let's check this out again. Oh, my wire come loose. We're going to check it one more time if I can get it in there, and then we're going to call it good, because it'll go down just a little bit more. It won't be too much. I don't think it's going to do it. I don't think. No. Alright, well, we're going to call that good. But you've seen for yourself what it did, all except for when the engine goes up, as you're sitting there running it or as you're driving it, then the voltage goes down. So, there you go.